I took on a role at that company, a role that I see in many organizations. At Starbucks at that time anyway, the role was called the floater. So I was out there on the floor serving coffee to customers. There were 3 or 4 other baristas at the time. I was in the role of floater, which is to say that I floated between all the different workstations, kind of plugged all the leaky holes in our little ship there, and kind of kept everything running as smoothly as possible. Given the onslaught of customers coming into our store, this was during a morning rush. So you can imagine, there were many customers eager to get their morning pick-me-up. Some had quite complicated orders that were going to frustrate us as the baristas, trying to prepare their food, prepare their beverages. But in any case, the observers arrived, they sat in the cafe, and they simply observed. And I understood that the assignment was to show them how impressive store operations could be. And I was thinking, of course, kind of selfishly, it was an opportunity to show them how impressive I could be in that floater role as the store's manager. And so as you can imagine, if you've been into a coffee shop, the business really picked up. There was a long line of customers trying to both place orders and receive their finished orders. There was a queue of cups stacking up at the espresso machine. And in that floater capacity, oftentimes I was doing 3, 4, 5, 10 things at once, trying to take care of all the customers, trying to support all of the baristas that I was working with. And by God, did I not think that I was impressing these corporate visitors with my heroics, you could say. Now, of course, as I later learned more about lean and got to talk to these visitors about what they were interested in and kind of what they were beginning to think about for store operations, I came to understand that the heroics that I was demonstrating on that fateful morning were simply covering up from a poorly designed, poorly running operating system, one where we weren't actively monitoring for problems, we weren't capably engaged in problem solving, we were simply doing our best, often going beyond human capacity to keep the store running, to try and keep our customers happy, to keep the coffee flowing, so on and so forth. I share that story because, as I mentioned, I think that's probably a pretty relatable experience for many of you. If you've had that kind of a role, sort of a frontline supervisory role, I wouldn't be surprised if a story like that is relatable to you. And as we're going to see as we dive into this webinar today, a role carried out like that, like it was at Starbucks in 2007, like it is in many organizations today here in 2025, is sort of the antithesis of what we see in the team leader role at Toyota today. What we could have seen in the team leader role at Toyota for many decades, in fact.